Good evening, racing fans. Welcome back to the channel, proudly sponsored by Oddschecker. Okay, so this episode is going to be a bit of an anti-post tips review. We have been doing a little bit of a series where we've been doing Scotty versus Jamie, and then we're going to basically run through some of their selections, see how they're getting on so far, and go from there. Of course, we've still got a few weeks now until Cheltenham. But what we did say at the beginning of the series is that Jamie and Scotty can have one switcheroo. They can take one selection out of the anti-post list, and obviously replace it with another one or two, whatever they want to do. Now, we are aware that this regards to anyone that's been following the selections. It's not like it wouldn't go on a P&L or anything like that. It's just part of this series with Scotty versus Jamie. We said what we're going to do, have a little battle between them and see how they got on at Cheltenham. So we have given them one transfer for the series. Before we go on to anything else, of course, we're going to say hello to my two wingmen who make this show possible. And we're going to start with Jamie this time. How you doing, Jamie?
Good job, is it?
Yeah, good, mate. Not too bad. We haven't got too long to the festival now. What have we got? 3.5 weeks? 3.5 weeks?
Thank God.
Yeah, so we haven't got the best racing for the next few weekends, but look, we can all get through it together, can't we? Scotty, how you doing over there in Jersey? Everything all good?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Been in good form recently. Feel full of energy, full of life. Looking forward to a nice weekend. Going to go and play some darts tomorrow. Keep my mind fresh for Cheltenham. I'm just looking forward to the Saturday racing. But yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you.
How you both feeling about tomorrow's cards? Like we haven't got too much top quality action as such now, have we, for Cheltenham? What do you think about this at the moment? You're just sort of counting down to Cheltenham like me?
Watch and breathe.
Scott, are you gonna have a little go anyway? I know we've obviously done our weekend preview.
Yeah, I'm. I think we said before we came on air this tonight is I'm only going to back three tomorrow, and I'd say probably out of the three of them, there's only one that I think's a strong fancy, and two which I'm interested in. So I'm going to keep it small and focus on my P&L. Clawed a few points back this week, but it's been a tough month, February. Probably not the best month to start in, but jump into the deep end and just keep focusing on it.
Yeah, to be fair, you are right. It is a difficult month to get stuck into the profit and loss. And anyone who hasn't already got Scotty and Jamie followed, please do go follow them on Twitter. They're always putting up content. We like to interact with everyone that's tuning into the show. And on that note, there were just a couple of shout outs we wanted to give to a few guys that are commenting every week. Michael Marsh, you've been brilliant. You're commenting every single week. We really do appreciate the support. We've also had some real nice comments this week from Mick Lees and also Yorkshire Red. So I don't know how long you guys have been watching the channel, but again, we can't do it without you all watching. It really is nice to have the support. Yeah, it's really good. And thanks very much for tuning in. Right then, we're going to go on with the show. We're going to go through Scotty and Jamie's selections. I'm also going to review the selections that I've put up for Oddschecker, but this is mainly about Scotty versus Jamie in the head-to-head for the season series. Right, let's start off. Let's go with Scotty first. All right, Jamie, we're going to start with Bad Boy. Selection number one, Dancing City, 12 to 1 for the Brown Advisory, now 11 to 4. You've got to be happy with that, Scotty. And do you still fancy him at this point in time?
Yeah, there's a couple of my selections where they're very strong second favourites from with the point I backed them, and they probably got a second favourite chance in obvious terms. Ballyburn, I think, was much improved again at Leopardstown the last day when he beat Croke Park at the DRF. So, yeah, I think Ballyburn, the step up to 3 miles, it's obviously going to help him. But yeah, a lot of talk about Dancing City not being quick enough. I still not totally buy into the theory that plodders don't win RSAs. Ballyburn's still got to prove he stays for 3 miles. And I just think his jumping's not quite as good as Dancing City this season. Still room for improvement, of course, but at 11 to 4, I'm pretty happy with my position on him. I think it's a three-horse race, and I think the other one that's going to come into it will probably be Your Horse Better Days Ahead. I think Cheltenham will suit him. I still wouldn't write off Croke Park. I think if he turns up here, he'd have had a good each way chance. But yeah, I'm very happy with Dancing City. I was impressed with him at Punchestown and again at Navan when he beat Bioluminescence. So I think all the form's stacking up pretty decent. And I do think he's probably going to be chasing home Ballyburn, but potentially is one of the stronger ones that I think's got a chance of winning. So yeah, I'm very happy at the moment.
Like you said, though, we don't know yet. He might not be chasing home Ballyburn, and he's had the full campaign, hasn't he, at the right trips. Ballyburn's still got to go up and do it. So 20 to 1, 12 to 1, sorry, into 11 to 4. Perfect. Right then, let's go on to Jamie. Your first section's Key to Bourbon, 20 to 1, still 20 to 1 for the Browns. Looked like a bit of a lost cause, but he was back to winning ways last time out, Jane. There's definitely still a little bit of hope there with him, right?
There is, so yeah, yeah. Like I look, I suppose the way the ground is at the moment, and there's hardly no rain about the place that Ballyburn will be going to here. But if I think, as I said to you there in the last podcast, if it's soft heavy and Paul Town officially at the moment has no ride in the Arkle, I can see this happening. I really do. Look, will all depend on the ground. It's ground dependent. I'm not buying in this thing of that. Oh, just because Majbra. Forget about Majbra and McManus horses in any stable. Mark Walsh gets first dibs and Mark Walsh only. Right? It just people remember that. But I think if it's heavy ground, Ballyburn would switch back, yeah, because they have Dancing City for that. And fair play to Scotty put up 12 to 1. It's one horse I've never fancied, Dancing City, but fair play to him with the 12 to 1. And I think Towner will be on him because I think he'll say, I want Ballyburn Arkle, I want Dancing City thing. This is the first year, I think, Joe, really, that the Turners is badly missed.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they made a boo boo there. Looking at it now, looking at it now. But I'm happy Keita Bourbon. Actually, he beat a horse that I actually quietly fancied for the novice handicap as well, along with Waterford Whispers, was Chapeau de Soleil. And
Yes, yeah.
unfortunately, he's not with us. He beat him at Gorham Park. He's not a lost cause. I think he'll probably be a Danny Mullins, right? 20 to 1. He might come into a place with the process of elimination. I don't think it's going to be a big field. I think he's going to come here. So, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
not
Well,
100% confident, but look, he might come into the place.
yeah, sure. But he looks like he's probably going to go there now, doesn't he? Interesting what you said there about the Turners, James, because I haven't really thought about it, but there's enough competition in the races now, isn't there, that they would have
Mhm.
all been filled with pretty decent fields, wasn't it? So, like you said, interesting timing to not have the Turners. Right, Scotty, back to you. Cargazzi, 14 to 1 for the Mares Chase. Look, in my personal betting, I was on Cargazzi for the race as well, but look, she's probably going to be going down the Mares Hurdle route now, as we know. Look, I know she's not going to be running, but what do you think of her chances as well in the Mares Hurdle?
Yeah, I mean, quickly touch on why I selected her for the Mares Chase. I just thought Dino Blue last season was disappointing. I know she was only just beat by Limerick Lace, but I'm still not convinced that she's an out-and-out stayer. Hence why I just picked Cargeese. I thought going up in trip, if she learned to settle, she'd be fine. But um, Bioluminescence and Only by Night are the two mares that have come out and been, when you just don't know what's going to turn up in the season and improve. They're the two. But yeah, going down the mare's hurdle route, I think her second to take no chances. She was very keen, I think, in the prelims, and she was getting a bit hot at Ascot in that mare's hurdle race. That take no chances beat her in. I'm not convinced that she's going to be winning a mare's hurdle. I mean, even if Brighter Days Ahead doesn't go to this race and goes to the champion, there's other horses that I'd slightly prefer to her, the likes of July Flower. I'd even probably back something like Queen's Gamble at a big price each way. Just you
Okay.
never know in the mare's hurdle these days. But for me, Cargeese would have to be almost double figures for me to want to be playing her in the mare's hurdle. She could go and win. She's definitely got the form in the book, and she's still got the potential to improve. But she's one that I've kind of given up with, and I wouldn't be interested, to be honest, now. So I'm going to leave her in. I'm not going to make any substitutes. So I'm just going to take the loss, and for me, that's part of my long-term Ante-Post thing. If I lose, I lose. I'm just going to leave it in there and just take it as a hit this year. So.
Well, look, as part of this series, you are allowed to change one at some point, so keep that banked for now. It is a shame though, because she's got that former Sergino and Majborough, and they've been scintillating, haven't they, over the fences? I know we haven't got sort of Sergino, but are we writing her off too early, Scotty, for the mare's hurdle? Perhaps. I mean,
Cargeese.
yeah, I mean we aren't guilty of this though, fellas, aren't we? No, Jamie,
I
She
don't think
won't.
so.
She won't run in the mare's hurdle.
you don't think she'll go in the
You
mare's
think she's
hurdle?
going to run in the county hurdle? That's what you said.
Oh, interesting, interesting. What is her
Jada
mark?
Cruz is Jada Cruz out tomorrow?
She's out
She,
at Punchestown on Wednesday. Yeah.
yeah,
Wednesday for
Wednesday.
Q Vega. Yeah, yeah. There's your
Got
mare's
it.
hurdle. So they'll put Cargiesi in the counter. She
So
doesn't stay 2.5 miles.
yeah, that's fair enough. You're probably right, actually, considering that. Actually, she might not stay. She'll definitely go chasing next year, though.
Go back to our handicap video. I was all over.
Yeah, you did. No, you did. It rings a bell. As soon as you mentioned it, it does make sense. I'm not sure what her mark is now. Do you know off the top of your head?
141, I think.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'd say that still probably underestimates her true ability, doesn't it, for sure? Okay, so unfortunately, Cargesi no good there for Scotty, but hey. It is part of the game. Next up, Jamie. How this one hasn't got the Ryanair entry. This is your race as well. You're top dollar at picking the Ryanair. Yeah, the Ryanair winner. Long Presse, 20 to 1. Um, look, you never know, James. What depending on what happens tomorrow, some
Yeah,
could
yeah.
still change, perhaps.
I was going to get rid of it, Joe, but you never know. You never know. I'm getting rid of another horse that is sadly, I don't think it might not go to Cheltenham, but now it's probably in the Bar. We'll get onto that. Yeah, it's in the wrong race. Would have a serious chance here over like it's want to dip her
Yeah.
around this course and distance. Is look, I think with the process now of only like what, 6, 7, 8 turning up in the Gold Cup, they probably will be placed. He'll stay on, and he kind of slight. I say he's only beaten Stage Star at no offense to Stage Star like at Cheltenham in the Cotswolds, but he went to the line, and I suppose he's definitely going to go to Gold Cup now. But like
I was
he's no chance of the Gold Cup.
I was going to ask you, is that because you got 6, 7, 8 runners? Is that what now makes you think it's very likely that they go to the Gold Cup?
Yeah, yeah, most likely, yeah, yeah. But he's in the wrong race totally. He'd be an absolute, I think, one of the very, very live, good
Yeah,
competitor
yeah.
chance. But it's the old cliche what we're kind of saying. Will he be beaten like if because it's going to be a red hot Ryanair, which it normally is now. It is like and like will he like what you were saying and Scotty was saying like will he be beaten by more horses in a Ryanair than a Gold
Sure,
Cup?
sure.
So that's what they're probably thinking, and obviously is the owners is a whatever he wants. That's what he wants. It's his horse at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But no, he's in the wrong race, unfortunately. But sure, that's the way things go. Tomorrow, I think he'll win because I think it's his last chance to ever win a. Because he's what 10 now, isn't he? I
yeah.
think it's his
Again,
last chance
yeah.
ever to win a Grade One. I know he was beaten last year by Victoria in the race, but I think he'll be trying tomorrow, and I think he'll win.
Yeah, interesting. You did when you made that point the other day in our preview. I did think, oh, you are right, like you said about having the chance for the Grade One. Look, Jamie, you unlocked the recipe for the Ryanair, so it is a shame that Lon Press is not going there because he fits the bill, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Right
Can I
then, of
quickly, before we move on, Joe, can I quickly touch? I mean,
course you
Jamie's
can, mate.
mentioned,
Of
we'll
course you
go back
can.
to Cargies quickly. Jamie's mentioned her for the county hurdle. You can back her for that race at 10 to 1 at non-runner money back on most firms. The only reason I'm mentioning that is because Kenny Alexander, the owner, has ran two horses in the mare's hurdle a couple of times against each other.
Mm.
Last year, Tell Me Something
How much
Girl,
go? Yeah,
Gala
yeah.
Marceau, I think
Oh,
L
yeah.
File finished third to the year. Honeysuckle won the race, and he did it in the mare's novice scenario. Ran in the race with Al Phil. So just in case he decides to send them both, maybe that Cargies at non-runner money back at 10 to 1, take a couple of points shorter.
You can have that one as a joint effort then, lads, if it goes with it wins the county. Right, Scotty, back to you. Ludus Sud, 10 to 1. I thought you actually put him up at bigger than that, but still 10 to 1. Now into 9 to 2. It's obviously sad that we haven't got Sergino in the race, but for now you found what everyone likes to call value because obviously he's less than half the price. If Majbra doesn't quite get his own way, is he the next best for you?
I think he is. Yeah, I mean, 9 to 2 is about the right price. They've taken away the each way angle
Hmm.
from just a small loss for you
Yeah,
there.
they
I
have.
think
It's
he's
interesting, that isn't it? Like to be fair.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have him than Django Bay. I'm just Django Bay for me. This is an afterthought coming here. Obviously losing Sergino. I thought Django Bay was going to be improving going up in trip. I keep on saying his win when he beat Springwell Bay and Caldwell Potter earlier in the season could turn out to be very good form. Springwell Bay's obviously franked the form since. But yeah, I'm just worried about the trip for Django Bay. So I know Loderswood was not as impressive as he could have been at Warwick in the Kingmaker last weekend. But I just think Dan Skelton left a bit with him there. You know, I still think he didn't have him fully wound up. Um, I know he's got to be absolutely peaking to give Majborough a race. And I was thinking about the race before we came on tonight again, and I know Majborough's speed figures, he's jumping, is a bit kind of hit and miss with the correlation, so to speak. Like it's been proven that his jumping has been the best this season for a 2 mile novice, but he tends to lose his lengths on the flat. But
Mm, mm.
that's just the way they want to ride him. They obviously know he quickens and they know that he can do it efficiently. But I've mentioned it before. I'd never want to see a horse fall, but these 2 mile novice chasers, or even the 2 mile chasers, 2.5 chasers, tend to make mistakes. Envoy Allen fell at odds on, similar kind of low jumper when he ran in the marsh. Footpad should have had no right to win the Arkle when he made a horrendous mistake at the water jump. The year St. Calvados and Petit Mouchoir went off like absolute lunatics.
Mhm.
Duvan fell in a champion chase. He was a very low, quick jumper. I'm just keeping that to the front of my mind. At 4 to 7, I'd rather be on Loader Sid at my price I'm on, and even for a place bet each way against him, I just think if I had to have my life on it, I'd say Loader Sid is the more safer jumper. But how quick Majborough is at his fences, I think it would have to go wrong for Loader Sid to win. Um, and I think the only other danger potentially in the race could be the mare Only by Night. Again, I think she's got a lot to find on pure figures that we've seen so far. I think it was mentioned in your Oddschecker preview earlier today that she's probably got about I don't know, maybe £6 or £7 to find on the likes of Django Bay, and obviously she'll get that with the allowance. But for me, I think it's going to be the 1-2 in the market either or Majborough and Loaded. But again, similar to my earlier pick, Ballyburn and Dancing City, I just think I've got a solid second favourite who would need things to go right for him to win the race. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, yeah, nice, good honesty there. Like you said, you're not shying away or underestimating the favourite. Like you said, you've got the value for the time being. Yeah, I like that, Scotty. I like that a lot. Okay, Jamie, Fortune de Mare, 25 to 1 for the bumper, now 33 to 1. So not much difference. Um, Look, we've had a few real smart prospects due to hit the racetrack that aren't hitting the racetrack and probably aren't
Mm.
going to make Cheltenham because of it now. So this is generally a real wide open bumper.
Mm.
He was mightily impressive at Cheltenham. He's got to have some form of chance, hasn't he?
Yeah, I suppose Joe the last day at Huntington, he always said that he was going to bring him out afterwards in an
Mm.
interview in November. Now the form isn't great. That Black Rocket Beats is not a great hurdler. But the only thing, the third horse came out in Catterick last week and won. No, it was a
Okay.
run in the mid bumper and blah blah. But he did say that he wanted to run with the fresh. Now he ran with the choke out of Huntington, and to be honest with you, Huntington
Yes.
was never going to suit him. Sharp greyhound ring track on the flat,
Yeah, yeah.
really, not a hope. Um, Skelton was kind of defiant afterwards that he still has a chance in this race. Now, he might be next year's horse, but look, he said the quicker they go, the better he'll be. I suppose, would you believe it? To be honest with you, from what I've seen this year, whatever Ruby Walsh said about Coca Cabana, I can't have that horse at all.
I'm with you, James. I'm with
I
you. I
can't
agree.
have Coco Cabana. Like, if
Mm.
Coco Cabana was any good, right? I just put it this way, and this is no offense to other horses that ran in that race on Sunday in the bumper at Navan. Coco Cabana would have been odds on.
Yeah, agree. He went off 9 to 4, didn't he? He
9
wasn't
to 4.
exactly.
He even touched 100 to 30
Yeah,
fours in the machine. Like, come on.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm massively with you. I agree fully, fully.
I think Patrick Mullins has rode the best bumper horse in Ireland, Barcall Cannon, in Calypso Chance for Gordon Elliott.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
if you look at Calypso Chance, right, with the Colcannon form, heads up, Colcannon beat heads up at Galway. Heads up then, hosed up on Morrigan Day. At Punchestown, I was there by 24 lengths. Then was 4 lengths behind Calypso Chance.
Well, yeah,
If you
yeah.
look at the Racing Post top speed of Calypso Chance and he's RPR, he'll be all over Calypso Chance to win the bumper. And I think if you watch that race back as well, Patrick Mullins was teaching the horse
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
more than any other horse I've seen. And would you believe it, Skelton, whatever about Skelton having Fortune de Mare, Paul Nichols has a horse for the bumper that nobody's talking about.
Oh, is it no drama this
A
end?
few shootings to put no drama
Yeah,
this end up, and I watched
interesting.
back that bumper at Warwick, and it was seriously impressive.
Wouldn't that be crazy? All of this talk about he won't have a win, and then he has like the bumper winning
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
composer. Wouldn't
And
that be
it's
insane?
funny that it's like I know Gordon Elliott has had multiple winners of the bumper, but not really since Envoy Allen, I don't think. Envoy Allen and Fiona. Um, Elliott, Skelton, and Nichols to me look to have the three best bumpers. I think Mullins has not. No, you know Mullins. He could have ended up with a horse running first time
Cool.
out and it could win. But at the moment, I'm happy because of course and distance form. Well, I was tempted to go in again at 33s, but I'm happy with 25s. I backed No Drama, Descend, and Calypso Chance on top of it as well. I got Calypso at 7s, and I got No Drama, Descend at 16s for small bets for an interest, Joe. I won't have a bet in the day. I'm done with the rest. Do you know what I mean? I'm done now. Really done. I think I'm done with it. I don't care. Like if they like a Bill Joyce gamble like last year comes out of it,
Oh, I know.
I
Yeah.
couldn't care less. I've sat down. Now I'll sit down. I'll watch it, and I'm done. But yeah, I'm happy. We'll see how good he is, but I think he could be next year's horse, and I wouldn't give up on him even if he's out the back of the field of a bumper. I think
Yeah,
he's
definitely. Like you said, you've Fortune Demare's he's got that Cheltenham form, hasn't he already? But like you, James, Copacabana, I'm not on side. He's the only one of the Mullins horses that has looked half decent, and I know he found and found, but Doesn't look like our bumper form. I called it the Supreme in the Arkle. I don't know what's going wrong with me, but it doesn't totally look like bumper form to me either. But
But isn't it good to see a bit of competition outside the mud?
yes,
Do you know what I mean?
absolutely,
Punter.
absolutely, yeah, of
That's
course. Like you said, Gordon Elliott's got a chance. Even David Pipe with that wind beneath my
yeah.
wings. I'm not
And I
saying I
suppose
fancy,
the most
but
interesting runner of the whole race will be Jalan Tudori, but I wouldn't back. I never back horses going back into a bumper that was placed the year before.
Redemption Day Mark Two, isn't it? This
Yeah,
feels
he
like,
is.
isn't it? You know.
Yeah, yeah. He shouldn't be left for him.
Yeah. Okay, right then. We'll move back to Scotty. To be fair, the next one that you both have each are absolute belters. East India Dock, 8-1. Fought the Triumph Hurdle now into 5-2. And looking more and more solid by the day, really, Scotty. You've obviously got to be happy with this one. He's been dead impressive, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm massively keen, as you know. I have him as my banker of the meeting. Um, Done something I very rarely ever do. All the years I've been anti-post betting, I only anti-post bet on one meeting, and that's Cheltenham. And I've actually gone in again on him after he won on trials day. Uh, what can I say? I mean, I don't think the form's spectacular. What he's beaten, I think you've got Stencil, who he beat the last day by 10 lengths at Cheltenham, who's favourite for the Boodles. Not to sound contradicting, but I'm not massively sold that Stencil was worthy favourite in
I
the Boodles.
agree. Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, it's proven if East India Doc runs up to his last run on trials day at Cheltenham, he wins the Triumph Hurdle, beating Al Connor, Defi Desoy, Pentland Hills, all of those good horses. Even Lossiemouth, he would have beaten them all if he ran to the way he ran that rating last time and his speed figures. So I'm massively in his camp. Lelamber's very much the unknown factor, as we know. I could spend all night talking about what he could potentially be. Again, I think a lot of it's down to connections, owner colours, trainer. They've all got the kind of fear factor, the bookmakers. And for me, he's a 5 or 6 to 1 shot just from what he did on the first day. East India Doc should be favourite. But if Lulamba went and beat him, I'd have to say that's a spectacular performance. I think if East India Doc runs up to his mark, we're looking at a superstar horse, maybe a champion hurdle, kind of Arkle horse for next season. I think these two are miles ahead of the Irish form. I know Hello Neighbours probably we're getting a few remarks over social media and some of the podcasts that Hello Neighbours not getting the respect he deserves, but they all finished in a heap that day in a slow run race at Leopardstown. The likes of Lady Vega Allen, who I'm not a massive fan of. I don't think she's a grade one horse. I think Hello Neighbours kind of like a Pied Piper, similar kind of profile. Probably pick up the pieces, finish like a third or fourth in the
Mm,
Triumphs. Maybe
mm.
something could run into a third place at a big price, but this really is a two-horse race, and I really think East India Docs is almost as close to a certainty at odds against for the meeting. I don't think Lulamba can beat him unless he is a real superstar. So yeah, I'm massive on East India Doc, and if I'm wrong, come at me. I don't care. I'll put my neck on the line.
Fair
But
play
if
to you.
I'm right, then happy days.
No, it's
Give
all
him some
about that, Scotty.
stick.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, we're all about that. Give us some stick, give us some congratulations. It's all part and part of the game. But to be fair, you've been banging the drum about East India Doc for a long time now, Scotty. Like you said, he's the one that's got the proven form. Lilamba's still got to go out and do it. I understand why. Obviously, like you said, he's a short price. But for now, 8-1 into 5-2. Jamie, this is a corker by you here. Um, a little bit of a spoiler alert. I put him up two, but for the Turners. So very jealous that Jamie has 16-1 for Kopek the boards. Now even money. I actually think he's now actually a shade of odds on, so even shorter. I mean, look, I mean he was dynamite, wasn't he, at the DRF, and it's going to be hard to beat now.
Oh, told you he's a machine.
You did.
He's a
Do you get
machine.
Ballyburn vibes from him? As far as I see him as Ballyburn, but better. Does that make sense? Just
I put him up there. I put him up there now with a Duvan and a
Woohoo!
tour. Like, oh, he's unbelievable. He's so keen. And like I wasn't down there now, Joe, at the preliminaries. I'm hearing people. He said he was all over the place inside the preliminaries in Leopardstown. I should have gone down and watched him. Gone down into him. To be honest with you, foolish me. But no, and that he might be with the preliminaries. But and then they said he's still one like that. No, there's not.
Crazy stuff.
Like he'll even
Crazy.
be better with a lead, and he's going to get a lead from Workahead. Workahead's going to tow him into the race. And at the moment, I think it's between the two of them. I think it's between Workahead and Kopek the board. Um, I see Ruby Walsh there turn around and say, "1 minute Salvatore Money's better than Kopek. The board is better." That's just only just obviously get people talking and clickbait. But no, this horse is really really good, really good. And I suppose if you look at it for future references, he's obviously a chaser the size of him. He's not going to stay hurling, so he's probably next year's Arkle winner, unless they bring back the Turners or something like that. Because final demand is the Browns horse all day. So yeah, look, if I get a price on the two of them for next year's Arkle and Browns, I can't see anything beating the two of them, regardless of final demand, winning or losing at Turners. But no, Kopech the board will win, and I think he'll win easy. I don't know who'll touch him.
Some 2026 Ante-Post elections there already there from Jamie. But yeah, look, he looks a
Very
machine. He,
confident.
he looks a machine, doesn't he? Like I just can't believe I haven't even got a penny of that 16 to 1. It's one that pains me, Jamie, especially when I got 10 to 1 for the Turners. He's not even going to go there. Right, Scotty, back to you. Your Ryanair selection, Jello 20 to 1, now into 11 to 1. I know you're a big fan of this horse. He's going to have to be A1 on the day, though, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's the one probably out of one of my selections where it's a heart over the head kind of, but maybe like a hopeful kind of swing, just from the potential. I've actually had a couple of earlier bets in the season about Grange Clare West for the race as well, but I think he's going to go to Gold Cup, and I was a bit disappointed to see him run so well, if I'm being honest, in the Irish Gold Cup, because I thought if he would have just finished a little bit further back, I would have had a chance. But Jello for me is still. It's hard to catch him on a good day. I mean, I think he's been campaigned a bit strangely this season. They've been trying him over 2 miles, and he was a staying on third in the Turners last year behind Ginny's Destiny and Grey Dawning. They started him off in the Held on Gold Cup at Exeter when JPR won, beat him. A lot of people were crabbing the ride that day from Charlie Deutsch, but I thought he was just lacking probably a bit of match fitness. I know JPR1 was having his first run, but JPR1's an out and out 2 miler, in my opinion. And I just thought it was a very good race where the form's going to work out pretty solid. He obviously went then on to Huntington when he beat Protectorat, and he won that race very convincingly, the Peterborough. But everybody knows that's followed Jamie in Protectorat. He has to go left-handed. He's a lot better effect going that way round, and he proved that in the Fleur de Lis when Jello ran a strange race. I don't buy into the myth that he has to go right-handed. I thought he had to go left-handed.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think, but most of his best form's going left-handed, to be honest with you. And yeah, I kind of like lost a bit of faith in him after that run. Maybe Venetia was just going through a quiet couple of weeks back then. I'm not too sure how her form worked out then. I know she's had winners since. And when he backed it up in the Denman last weekend, he seemed to be in a little bit of trouble. And first time trying over 3 miles, I think the race just had a lot of old legs, a lot of dead wood, the likes of Brave Man's Game, Hitman, plodders kind of nowadays. I think he showed a bit of speed to go away and win as he did. So I'm still not out of hope that he can run well. Run well in a Ryanair. Realistically, probably playing for a place at best. If Factor File comes here, which it looks like he's most likely going to do now, according to the exchange markets, I think he's drifted to double figures on for the Gold Cup. So I think if Factor File's in the race, it's going to be very difficult. But yeah, if it comes down to Protectorat and Jello without Factor File, I think it's a toss of a coin. And I think it could be a very good race. But it's probably one where I'm like more hopeful than expecting, if I'm being honest.
But again, you got what you call value, sort of half the price. Obviously, at the time, I know obviously he's got to get it done for the value to work out, but you're in a good position with him nonetheless. James, I'm going to skip your next one and come back to that because I know you're doing a switch through, and we'll go on to your latest selection, which again, this is one you sold me on. You and Sean have been sweet on this one. I'm not sure who said what first, but I only listened to you. So Angel's Dawn.
Oh,
Angel's Dawn, 8 to 1 into 4 to 1, halved in price for the Fox Hunters. I mean, look, you made a really good case about this one, and rightly so as well.
yeah. To be honest with you, I think she is one of the bankers of the meeting. I really do. And look, it's an amateur race. I will say that. Look, I said last year, I know the way you're thinking was the banker of the meeting. That's an amateur race. Look, Derek O'Connor is practically like a professional.
Yeah.
So I don't know whoever's going to ride. I don't really care, to be honest with you. The quicker to go, the better she'll be. She'll hunt around, lovely, jubbly, as they say. Her form is there to be all to be seen. Beat Stumptown in a Kimure in
Yep, yep.
2023. Was going to be second, I thought, in front of Gipmaker last year in behind another. I think in the Kimure again. Uh, she's won her 2 points this year, and a big note of form confidence that in her last point to point, she beat a horse called Rye Hill by 6 lengths. who
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
hosed up at
I
Naas the weekend
saw. Yeah,
and
yeah.
absolutely hammered It's on the line. So to me, at the moment, form wise, in the unless Sinaname comes back from the English to won the race last year, it's between Rye Hill at the moment and Angels Dawn. And on strictly on form, Angels Dawn will absolutely wipe the floor with it. I'm not sure about Mayor's allowances in the race. I presume it's. I don't think there is. I might be wrong. I must check that. I'm like, even if
Yeah,
he got a Mayor's allowance, oh my God, I'd be
even
going
better.
in again even better. But I'm happy with the 8-1. With Kopek, Tabora, these are for the Supreme and Angels Down are certainly from far out are my best two by country mile.
Yeah, interesting, interested. Yeah, not sure about the mayor's allowance. Learn something every day. We will have a look after the episode. Could we see an Angel's Dawn Stumptown double, Jamie, like from the Kim Muir with?
I I I think Stumptown could have blown its mark in the December meeting. I really do. I think look, there was loads left. There's no doubt about that. But a mark, I know the only thing I will say, and people are trying to say in my head, it's a specialist track and it's a specialist format of the game, and that his mark won't matter. Uh, oh, I don't know. The only thing I will say about that is actually the other horse I fancy came up and hosed up by 18 lengths and it was second in a Grand National one time and it's Vanilla. I don't
Vanilla?
know what
Yeah.
the hell they were doing the Monday of the bank holiday after the DRF. Vanilla hosed up by 18 lengths. I was like, oh no, Cromwell, what are you doing? So he must know that he is more in hand as well. But it's a specialist thing, but I think sometimes a bit too short now.
Okay, fine. Well, I'm definitely gonna have a look, but I totally see your point there. The mark could be a bit higher than what people were anticipating.
157 now, I
Yeah,
think.
that's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he was at pains not to win, I thought, in December.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
see Donahue just trying to reel back,
Reeling back in, yeah.
not too much, you know.
The handicapper wasn't having it. They knew I was there, like so. But it's a specialist subject that, and it's a specialist track, and sometimes they defy marks. But I think 157 is a bit much.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, would I like he's saying the Grand National afterwards? I couldn't have him for a Grand National. No, I think
No, I'd fancy him more for Cheltenham rather
than
than
the Grand National.
Grand National. Scotty wants to say something, I feel there.
Sorry, oh, you read me like a book. I was just going to say, yeah, the Hunters conditions, everything races off 12 stone flat, but the mares get the £7. So last year,
They
Sin
do. There
Nomin,
you go.
she won the race off 11.7, and I think
An
everything,
even
yeah.
bigger certainty.
So yeah, and I think Sin Nomin last year was the only mare that's ran in the Hunters for about 2 or 3 years. So Angels Dawn's definitely
Wow.
that £7.
There you go. There's an extra valid point there to add to Angel's Dawn. Nice one, Jamie. Okay, Scotty, your final one that you put up so far is a handicap selection in the Ultima Highland, 20 to 1, now 10 to 1. I think he's got an entry next weekend. We sort of discussed this on the preview, didn't you? So, I mean, you must be happy with the price, but you don't want him winning too far next week, do you?
Yeah, you're right. The old racing post chase, I still call it. I don't know what it's called now, Kempton.
I still call it that.
Yeah, I remember
Old
watching it
school.
when Quinns won it a few years ago for Richard Johnson and Philip Hobbs, 2010, I think it was.
I
But
was gonna say a few years ago. That's a decade and a half ago now.
yeah,
I remember Lalonde winning it, and then it went on
Oh,
to
wow.
when what the Cath character was called then
I
at
love hearing
Cheltenham.
the old names. I love that.
but no, yeah, going back to Highland, he's off 147 at the moment. So if he does run next weekend, I don't want to see him winning. If he finishes third or fourth, I don't think I think the handicap has been a bit lenient this week with certain horses. He hasn't put them up a lot. I don't know why. Maybe he's just giving English horses a chance now
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
next few weeks, which is very controversial. Won't go too much into that. But yeah, the form's solid. Like I said, mentioned it loads of times on the show. Won't bore everybody again. But he's Cheltenham form's brilliant. Ties in with beating the likes of Transmission, who's well touted for the National Hunt Chase, possibly the Kim Muir. I think he'll go to National Hunt Chase. Second to the Jukebox Man at Christmas at Kempton. I thought he was going to get beaten out of sight. I think he finished 2.5 lengths behind the Jukebox Man, who was obviously we're not going to see at Cheltenham, unfortunately. But yeah, love him. And I've gone in again this week. I've taken another bit of the 12s. That's as far as I'll go now. And yeah, it's one of the races that I try and pick out a horse early in the season, and he ticks all the boxes. But again, if he does win next weekend, which I'm hoping he doesn't, he'd probably go up to like the low to mid 150s.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the last horse to win off that kind of rating in this race was Ante-Post 2, who won it off 155 in
Right, yeah,
2017.
yeah.
But
Did he win
again,
it twice? Did he win it
Mhm.
twice?
He won it the year
Yeah,
before of
didn't he?
148. I think he's the only back-to-back winner of the race in recent years, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Cormac Rambler did it, of course.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, 148 in Tom Portu won it off in 2016, and Highland's a pound lower than him, probably not as classy as him. But this year, excuse me, the rules have changed, like we know. I think a lot of these open handicaps, you're not going to have the unexposed novices turning up as much. So I think it gives a lot of horses a chance. But he's had his 5 runs, so that's a massive tick in the box. So similar to Chianti Classico last year, a novice. Novices have got good records in this. So yeah, I'm very confident that he'll run a big race.
Yeah, nice one, lovely, Scotty. And then Jamie, I've left this one till last because I know you haven't.
Before you finish on
Go
that,
for
right?
it. Go for it.
I think I'm not going to put him up, right? But I'm going to steal a bit of Scotty's thunder
Do it. Go
because
for
I
it.
think I have the ultimate winner. And Scotty tipped it last year, and he's been running
Oh,
around in the hurdles all year.
Twig.
And am I gone fuzzy?
you're back. Go on. Go for it. Was it
Yeah.
Twig?
Twig, yeah.
It
I
is.
think
Good,
Twig.
good Pauling.
Twig is a. I think Twig is a good thing.
There's a few.
Just one thing on that. He's got
But
a real good mark for the Grand National, and he will get
yeah.
in the race. I'm pretty confident. I think that's where they're going to go for. I
What
don't think
number is
he'll
he? Do
run.
you
But
know?
he's been hanging around in hurdles all year, and I was looking at it, and Bo Morgan rides him at £5. I know he's gone
Yeah,
up a few pound, but look, Canty Classico had a stone in hand. Forget about that, right? I don't think there's going to be a horse with a stone in hand this year. The way the rules, you explained the rules perfectly, Scotty.
sure, sure.
Yeah, I think they've been laying out this horse all year to get back there.
Yeah, I like that. I do like that as well. There's a few sort of trainers that would be nice to see have a winner this year that have lost sort of like big horses. Ben Pauling's won because obviously they've lost the jukebox man for the season.
Hmm.
And obviously Kim Bailey's not having Chianti Classico, so it'd be nice to see one of those to get a bit of redemption, wouldn't it? Sort of at the festival. I'd love to see it. And
Looking at it, I'd make a point before we move on swiftly. If you look at it now, right, and the way he's been running and the way he won the second he had a part last year, I think the jukebox line would have absolutely hosed up in the Browns.
yeah,
So you look at it.
you do, don't you? Sort of thing. Like the
Yeah. You can
closer we
see it
sort of
now.
get
You
to
can
the
see
race.
it now. Yeah,
Mm.
you can see it now.
Right, Jamie, you're having a switcheroo with the last selection that you put up, which was Jasmine DeVoe for the Turners. May well still go to the Bartlett, but it does look, to be fair, like the Turners is unlikely at this point. Um, switch it up for us. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to switch it up with JP McManus horse, Joe. There was a point actually in our last podcast with Steve Ryder made an absolute wonderful point that I was actually thinking myself in a way. I'm not stealing his thunder or anything like that. He said that Final Demand reminds me a bit of Pont Alexander, and
Oh
I'm
yeah,
starting to think of the same. I
with
really
Richie,
am.
or he was with Rich Ritchie,
Yeah,
wasn't
I was all over the new one that year. I were inside the bar on the Tuesday night, and everyone said Pont Alexander's a certainty. I was saying absolute nothing, and my dad
he?
said
Yeah,
to me, "You're shrewd. You are. You said nothing." I goes, "Yeah, the form was there. The new one in at Fisher's Cross, the
yeah,
Muppet."
yeah.
But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm not sold, obviously. No offense, Joe, with Wendigo form with the new line.
That's
No,
fine. That's
I'm
more
not
than
sold.
okay, Jamie.
I'm
More than
very
okay.
sorry about that.
Have you seen just quickly this week? Tom Siegel's put him up.
Yeah.
Ruby Walsh has put him up.
Mm.
So, but
And
you're probably
JP
right.
wants to buy him.
JP wants to have a piece, but we're
You're
not.
fools, by the way. You should have sold.
Not letting him go. I'm not letting him go. Anyway,
Let it go. But the horse is 6-1. Best price now on Bet365 is Kawambunga. The reason behind this horse is obviously number one. It was second at Christmas behind the machine of Kopek de Board. Got within 2 lengths of him. Look, that could be a bit exaggerated the way Kopek de Board was all over the place on Stephen's Day in the maiden hurdle, the first race at Leopardstown. But it's the second run behind to me who will win the listed hurdle at Punterstown on Sunday of William Money. It's the way he picked up William Money. Um, is really, really eye-catching to me. And I thought even coming into straight, he was struggling against winning money, but he just screamed Turner's
yeah,
horse to me.
he did
Just the way
find
he
plenty,
went
didn't
through
he?
the line.
Mm.
Yeah, he went through the line and went past winning money. I will say an outside show for the Bartlett. Because Henry de Bram doesn't mind switching horses to different trips, and those owners love, love gentlemeners. And it's Cocktail Divan will run the Bartlett, and he's a right chance each way. So the form is there stacking up all day, and I think he's not the new lion because I think regardless. Of this, Mark Walsh won't have the choice. Skelton will be on the new line.
Yeah, yeah,
So
agreed.
Cowan Boone will be ridden by Mark Walsh. I think he's a serious danger to the two, and I think he might win. So 6-1 for me, Cowan Boone.
Perfect. Are you adding any others, or is it just a straight switcheroo with the one?
Just the one, yeah, and I have two more on top,
Yeah,
like Scotty
perfect.
has.
Okay, well, we'll go over to Scotty then first. Are you adding? Oh, so gave it away then. You
It's
got
for number 7 and 8, so yeah.
yep, 7 and 8. Scotty as well. Number
Yep.
seven, number 8.
Yeah, I've got two. Yeah, so it'll be
Oh,
7
right, let's
and 8.
go for it.
Who do you want first?
Yeah, you. Sorry, yeah, you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I've waited to put this one up. Jamie knows who it is, and we spoke about him on our Ante-Post shows, and it's Waterford Whispers for the novices handicap chase. The Jack, I think it's called the Jack Richards nowadays, simply because he has been declared on Sunday at Punchestown, so he's going to run, and I'm so happy it's over 2 miles. I just didn't want to see him go over a trip, and
Interesting.
he's just going to be getting his third run, so he now qualifies for the race. He's going to get a handicap mark. He's going to come in at a pretty low weight, and his compatriot JP McManus's Jaguar is going to go off favourite for the race. But I think this is going to be the number one. I think they've been
Yeah.
waiting, similar to like they did last year with I Know the Way You're Thinking, who won the Kim Mule. He's going to be hunting around at the back of the field in this quick run 2 mile against the likes of Facile Mode. The name escapes me. There's another one in there. That's a good 2 mile horse. Yeah, all the boxes tick. He ran a real good race behind El Atlantique earlier in the season, finished second. Form of that race has worked out really strong. I know El Atlantique didn't win at the DRF, but the likes of Goodland came out from that race and has run some very good, solid races. We had Now Is the Hour, who's come out and won a race since, is now favourite for the
Oh,
National Hunt
interesting.
Chase. All of the form is starting to work out, and I think Waterford Whispers, when he was last in that race at Limerick at Christmas behind Impere Pass, I just said, "This is, I know the way you're thinking, number two," and 100%, 12 to 1 after Sunday. People will clock
Brilliant.
onto that he's qualified. When the word gets round, take the price before he runs on Sunday because he may even go off favourite for this race. I think the gamble will come. He's second in the Martin Pipe last year, heartbreaking for many people, but it just goes to show he acts at the course. So I'm convinced this is going to be the JP number one, and it'll be
And
probably my biggest handicap bet of the whole week, and that's even ahead of Highland.
brilliant.
Good at selling horses to me, you two. I'll tell you, like, you make me want to start getting
And
involved.
who was he second to last year in the pipe, Scotty?
Better days ahead.
There you go. And who was third? Key to Bourbon.
We've got
Yeah,
it
They
all,
say the pipe is shit.
we've got it all
The pipe
covered,
is the
like.
best handicap in the whole meeting.
how many winners and how many Grade One horses come out of that pipe on a serious note?
Oh, it's the
Third Day
best
Champ
handicap
came out of the
in
race.
three
He won
mile.
the Juice, and Don Poley won the race. He came out and won the Brown Advisory. Galopin Des Champs won the race.
Gallopin.
Langadan was placed in the race. He's been competing in Grade Ones, winning Coral Cups. It is the most underrated race of the whole meeting for future horses.
Even the
And
likes
I
of
think they put it.
Rocco and stuff.
I think they put it last. Rocco, the Grand National Horse. I
Yeah.
think they put it last to bloody keep it in the memory.
And Kilolta Vic was
Yeah,
a
that's it. Yeah,
winner
that's
as
it.
well. Kilolta
Salute to
Vic
Vic.
turned out to be
Yeah,
a
he'd
Grade
have been
One
a
chase.
machine. He'd have been a machine if he didn't. Ruby didn't fall off from that time.
Well,
Yeah,
he
good
did a
horse.
suspensory injury, didn't he? Which is like one of the
Mm.
worst things that can happen. But
Yeah,
yeah.
when you have a suspensory injury, there's not many that come back the same. There really are. Jamie then. Okay. Jamie Wrenn. Jamie then. Who have you got next? Number 7.
I'm going to go. Vic, nah, that's not controversial. A lot of people are putting up. I don't like it. I don't. I like. I know the others, and they're all over it. It's now 10 to 1 joint favourite for a grand annual in Jazzy Matty. I'm not putting that up. I think too many people know now, and I
Yeah,
don't like that.
yeah.
Now this is what I'm going to say. I'm not stealing Andy Cummins' thunder, by the way, but he did make a great point, and he said that a horse to for Gavin Cromwell, if it doesn't win at the DRF, it will win the Grand Annual, and I'm buying it, and I really am buying it. But I tell you why, because if you look back at the post-race comments, they said it hit the fort last, and he did mid-eyed it is, and he was post-race coughing. Thank God they said that. But was he really post-race coughing? Is another story. But that's besides the point. And the horse is midnight. It is.
Oh,
He
yeah.
won. He won at Navan and he beat a horse called Foddy Mass by a length and a half. But it's the race in the Dam Moor. There's collateral form there with the King of PRs, who's now priced up for the race, and Pion Darragh. Pion Darragh beat the King of PRs in the St. Stephen's Day 2 mile handicap at Leopardstown. Pion Darragh absolutely hosed up at the DRF. King of PRs then went on to win the Danmore, and Midnight is was third. Bit of inexperience. I think the more experience it gets in 2 mile handicaps, the better. The mile 7.5 will suit it better. There's a big day in this horse. Now, is it the Grand National? It might not be. It could be a big 2 mile handicap if Fairyhouse or Punchestown, but he's definitely going to win one of them.
What price, Jake? What price?
He's 20 to 1 at the moment.
Wow, 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 wow.
I think Cromwell as well. I think he has them all, doesn't he? King of PRs,
Yeah.
Punter, and
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Midnight
My
it
mate
is.
Mozzie.
My mate Mozzie, he
Aussie.
was, yeah, and my mate Mozzie was second to him Pound Arc, so he knows he's running him in all the right races. If Donahue picks him, I'd plow into him. But even if Sean Flanagan, who won it earlier in the year, who was on when he won at Navan during the year, it doesn't bother me. But if Donahue picks him, he'll half him price without a doubt.
Mate, you can't believe it's 20 to 1.
Yeah, so he went off favourite for that race at the JRF. I think he's a great price at 20 to 1. I don't look the non-runner no bet doesn't really bother me at the moment because I think he's going to come here. Do you know what I mean? But he's
Yeah,
best
yeah.
top price 20 to 1. It's so close out. I just couldn't be arsed with the non-runner no bet now at the
Yeah, fair
moment.
enough.
Been smart. But no, I really like this horse, and I think he'll be forgotten about. But if O'Donoghue picks him, he'll half in price. Yeah, so it's midnight. It is for me for the Grand India.
We'll
Who's the
keep an eye
grand?
on that, those
Yeah,
bookie jockings, those jockey bookings. We're getting all
yeah.
mixed up tonight. Go on, Scotty.
Sorry, Joe, I'm interrupting you tonight. Just to
I
say,
mean, crack on.
I watched a short video yesterday with Gavin Cromwell, who was running through his horses. I don't know if you saw it. And he said that Midnight it is definitely intending to run.
There
Hmm.
you
My
go.
mate Mozzie as well. But he actually, the comments he had with Midnight it is was he was actually genuinely disappointed with how he ran. Um, Whatever you can
I
buy
love
into that,
that. I love that.
but it's whether you take that as a positive or not, it's up to you. But
I
yeah,
prefer Gavin Cromwell saying that. Oh God, I can't believe what he did the last day.
but he did say his best handicapped horse that he's really, and his eyes lit up was the company sergeant. So wherever he runs at the festival, I'll keep an eye on him as well.
Yeah,
Coral Cup.
yeah. I was going to say
That's why he said the
Coral Cup
Coral
or
Cup
something,
for the
wouldn't
company
He was
sergeant. He's very keen.
backed off the board a couple of weeks ago in Navan, off the board for new owners,
you?
and yeah, oh yeah, he's a right chance. All right, I agree with you.
And the thing to back up Jamie's point there as well, just in my personal view on my mate Mozzie, he's your nearly horse. We know he's talented.
Mm.
He isn't going to win the Grand Annual. He can get as close
No,
as he likes, but he just won't
no.
get his head in front. Midnight it is at 20 to 1 for the Grand Annual for Jamie. And then Scotty, your final addition to the squad.
Yeah, final edition for this week. I'm gonna have another two maybe before the festival, but bear with me with this one because it's one from out of left field. And Ian Rayner, a good friend of ours, friend of the show, I said to him first. I don't think he was online. We were chatting at the meeting at Cheltenham. I think it was November, and this horse finished second to the ill-fated a Buffalo Soldier. Finished second in the I think it was the Scottish National last year behind McDermott for Willie Mullins, and he's trained by a trainer who not many people would probably clock onto. It's Toby Laws, and that's Surrey Quest. He's a
Ah,
general 33 to 1 shot for the Kim Muir, the Folk Warring. I hate it when people say the Kim Muir. It's the Folk Warring Kim Muir, and he's rated 139, so he's well in there in the ratings. Probably go for about 11.4, 11.5 in a race if he runs. Whether they've got the Scottish National in mind again, but at non-runner no bet, I'd probably take 25s just in case he doesn't run. So yeah, I just think he was very eye-catching at Cheltenham. He was absolutely at the back of the telly and he ran on, and another furlong he would have won the race. And I think he's been pretty well treated since. He ran at Newbury in December, just after Christmas, when he unseated, when he was running pretty solid, and Henry's friend won the race. And Henry's friend's obviously a pretty likable horse who people are looking into. So I'm pretty convinced that the form of the race is going to work out solid. Magnus Sam beat him at Musselburgh. He finished third out of 14 off for quite a I think he was about 11.3 that day. I'll have to check at the weight you are, sorry. But off 139, this is a definite one for the Kim Muir for me. And again, going back to a point I made earlier in the show, you're not going to have any sneaky novices slipping into the race this year. A lot of the seasoned handicappers are going to be racing against him. I can't have the likes of Johnny Who. He has to go right-handed for me. I think he's at the top of the market. Whether transmission runs here, he'd be a big danger. But at 33 to 1, or 25's non-runner money back, Surrey question is very interesting. First time he's ever run at Cheltenham, massive eye catcher. So for me, that ticks a lot of boxes and fits the profile for the race. So it's a bit of a swing, but I'm definitely going to back him, and I'm thinking 33s is too big to ignore.
Ain't nothing wrong with that when you're shouting with the non-runner no bet as well. So that's 12 to 1 and 25 to 1 for the two additions for Scotty. Jamie's added midnight. It is at 20 to 1. And who is your final one then, James? Selection number 8 for the squad.
It is pretty obvious, Joe. Should have put her in the book ages ago, to be honest. But he's top price I saw on Oddschecker at 130,
I
and it's
knew
the
it. I
mare's
knew it.
winner. In waiting is 6.5. I don't care what Maureen does. The potential's there. Maureen, as I said the last day in the podcast, that Maureen's next year's horse for Mare's Chase because it looks like a chaser. Uh, the reason behind 6.5 is experience. Won a flat handicap, obviously, in Newmarket during the year. It was third to the Euphrates in the Irish Cesarovich. Uh, romped home in a bumper last year, Punchestown. And who was third that day? Beat it by, I'd say, at least 11, 12 lengths, and that was Col Cannon. Col Cannon's gone out and won the bumper at the DRF, like a very good horse. Good to see Noel Mead have a good horse again. And unfortunately, the Col Cannon's not is not qualified for the bumper, so I'd be all over Col Cannon for the bumper. So with the collateral form there, 6.5, she was mustered on debut. She jumps well. I think it doesn't matter if they go slow, quick, indifferent. She's so versatile. She's so much more experienced than Maureen. Look, I'm all for going for potential against experience normally, but when you see how experienced and professional 6.5 is, if things go wrong in the race, she'll get herself out of trouble compared to where Maureen could be all over the track with inexperience. So yeah, I think she'll romp home and 6.5, 130 best price. I should have got on her earlier because I tipped her last year 20 to 1 to win that bumper at Punchestown, and I can't believe I didn't put her up and never copped. I didn't think she was going hurling, to be honest with you. I thought they were going to keep her for the flat, but no, I think she'll just win.
Yeah, perfect, James. Look, I'm exactly the same. I think she's a cracking mare. I really do. So fully agree with you there. Right, I'm going to recap on the selections for Scotty and Jamie. Scotty currently has Dancing City 12 to 1 into 11 to 4. Carghazi 14 to 1, now not running in the race. Lotus Hood 10 to 1 in the Arkle, now 9 to 2. East India Dock in the Triumph 8 to 1 into 5 to 2. Jello for the Ryanair 20 to 1 into 11 to 1. Highland at 20 to 1 for the Ultimate, now 10 to 1. The two editions, Waterford Whispers for the 2.5 mile novice chase at 12 to 1. And Surrey Quest at 25 to 1, non-runner no bet for the Kim Muir. Jamie, Key de Bourbon, 20 to 1, still 20 to 1 for the Brown Advisory. Lompresse, 20 to 1 in the Ryanair, could still happen. Fortune de Mer, 25 to 1, now 33s for the bumper. Very open race. Kopek the boards, 16 to 1 into even money. It's just obscene. Jasmine DeVoe has been replaced. Angel's Dawn, 8 to 1 into 4 to 1 for the Fox Hunters. And like you said, Scott has told us the allowance is there, so it looks even better. Kawaboomga, 66 to 1, sorry, for the Turners. Midnight it is at 20 to 1 for the Grand Annual. And 6.5 for the Mares Novice as well. I'm going to run through mine that I put up on my Oddschecker column. Just real briefly, I'm going to give you my two bad ones first. Put in St. Lucie for the Triumph, 12 to 1, now 33 to 1. And then I put up Kopek the board at 10 to 1 for the Turners, still 10 to 1, but very, very unlikely that he's going to go. My better ones, we have for the Mare's Chase, Bioluminescence, 12 to 1 into 100 to 30. The Big Westerner, 12 to 1 into 6 to 1. 6.5 like Jamie, 100 to 30, still 100 to 30. And I've got two selections which are slightly controversial. Not the selections, but I am a believer that there's nothing wrong with going each way in Ante-Post punting, especially if it's on day one or day two of the festival. Now, the reason I say that, and I'm not being smart here, if you like your 250 each way, your five each way, you may not want to wait just for your money back plus a small amount. But if you're having a significant bet, and you get your money back plus a little bit extra by having a place, I see no problem with that because you've still got 2 or 3 days then to reinvest that for some other selections. And I've gone for work ahead at 12 to 1 each way in the Supreme. And then I've gone better days ahead each way in the Brown Advisory at 12 to 1 into 8 to 1. Right then, fellas, I think that wraps it up for this episode. I'm not forgetting anything, am I? Or missing anything? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Right, quiet weekend on the betting then front, Jamie. You just having a watching brief, are you? Maybe a little punt just to keep you interested?
I tell you no, Joe, I'm very busy this weekend, so I will be glancing it on the phone. So I'll have a
Well,
look and we'll see what happens. Will we see Cheltenham winners? We might. You never know. But no, it's just watching brief this weekend. Yeah.
well, look, you're busy and it will probably make it, it's a couple of days closer we get to Cheltenham by doing so. And Scotty, you're just going to have a little bit yourself, like you said, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a quiet weekend. Probably put my feet up tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna back three tomorrow. Saint Sam at Punchestown, even money. Not a massive short price backer, but I think he'll win there. And I'm gonna chance Golden Ace in the Kingwell, and I'm gonna have a few quid on Le Patron. Hopefully, he bounces back to form, and the younger legs will. I think 11-1's too good to ignore in the Grade One Ascot. So yeah,
Lovely. All right then, lads. Well, look, that's another episode closer to Cheltenham. That is our anti-post selection review, preview, whatever you want to call it. Just the squads so far. Again, big shout out to everyone that's tuning in. Mick Lees, Yorkshire Red, Michael Marsh, thanks so much for your nice comments. Anyone who's new to the channel, if you could please click subscribe, drop us a comment. We do really enjoy interacting with you, as we said. Click the thumbs up if you're enjoying it even more, because we can't do it without you. We genuinely really appreciate the support, and it's nice to see that the views are going up, the subscribers. And that's about it. We've got our Cheltenham Festival preview in
2 weeks' time.
2 weeks' time. Got some nice special guests still coming on too. And that's about everything, fellas. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget this episode is sponsored by Oddschecker. You can get 20% off all of the access there using code GJOE20. And myself and my two trusted wingmen, we will be back real soon.